Welcome to the Chick Foley Show.
What is up, Foley fam? We are back with another episode of the Chick Foley Show. This is episode number 117. Going to be talking about Elimination Chamber. We got some awesome figures to talk about this week. But first, let me introduce the two stars of the show, Sheena.
Hello, hello.
And Marco.
What's going on? Just living the champion's life over here. Wrestling my championships. You can see these right behind me. Dual champion.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Marco, I was ordered not to ask you about the weather this time. Another member of the cast complained about asking about the weather too much. So, what else is going on up in Massachusetts right now besides the weather?
Nothing much. Just there's nothing else to talk about weather, so we'll just skip what's going on around here.
That's what I literally told Steph when we were talking about it. I was like, the sad thing is, it's like you can't be like, where did you go this weekend? What'd you do? Did you eat out at any good restaurants? You know what I mean? It's just like everybody's like, yeah. Looking out the window, it's cloudy.
Yeah.
Well, all the time inside does give us a lot of chance to catch up on social media. So, Sheena, tell me where they can find you guys.
You can find me on Instagram at Chick Foley. Marco is graciously running the Twitter machine over at Chick Foley Show. And most importantly, you can join our Foley fam at chickfoleyshow.com. So hop over there. We want to congratulate our buddy Dennis Vautour for winning the Chick Foley Rumble 6. It was so much fun. We live streamed it before Elimination Chamber. And it was a lot of fun over there. We actually recorded some new Boxamania videos for you guys.
We got Alex Pierce's custom Dynamite Kid that he made for us on there. So yeah, some really good Legends figures on this week's episode of Unboxamania.
Your official source for Unboxamania.
Oh yeah, the one and only. The original. Don't be fooled by any imitators out there. All right, and speaking of figures, remember to use code Chick Foley anytime you order on ringsidecollectibles.com. Save 10%. They are the number one worldwide retailer of wrestling figures, and you can support the show and support them and save a little bit of coin anytime you get some new figures. And make sure to check the show notes, all the partners that we'll be mentioning throughout the show. If you hit our show notes, we got links in there and then reminders on the discount code. So definitely hit that up. And with that, we will move inside the squared circle. This segment is brought to you by Homage. They definitely have, I don't know where they're sourcing their shirts from, but they have the softest tees in the biz. They had a lot of awesome, really retro inspired designs on there, but then you can also just buy their plain tees if you're just looking for some basics. So definitely recommend them. Like I said, they're softer than some of the other quote unquote soft tees you can find out there. So hit up Homage. The link is in the show notes. Let's get started with the Elimination Chamber review. So I'll kick it off by introducing the reigning, defending, undefeated in 2021 Chick Foley Show prediction champion, Marco. He's finally holding it down. I've been giving him shit ever since I came on this show. Sheena had been dominating the prediction championship. As far as the battle of the sexes go, we were getting stomped out by the females there, Marco. But I don't know what you did for your New Year's resolution, but you finally got the prognostications are coming through. So we'll let you start it off. What was your match of the night?
Oh man, I'll start off by saying trained long and hard to first win the championship and then to keep it was another story. But it was a hard fought battle, it's the championship's rightfully where it's supposed to be. So
wrong. That is what we call fake news.
So match of the night. I'm going to be honest. The show wasn't the greatest of shows, so it's really hard to pick match of the night. But if I have to pick a match, I'm actually going to go with the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber over the Universal Championship number one contender Elimination Chamber. I thought that was a better match. A lot of different stories going into that as well. Not that the Universal Championship Elimination Chamber match didn't have any stories going into it. I think the WWE Championship was more compelling. In the sense where you had Randy Orton, who had a feud with Drew McIntyre, and then you had Sheamus, who also has kind of like a feud with Drew McIntyre and stuff like that. So
everybody hates Drew.
Yeah, they all hate Drew. Pretty much everyone in that match, except for Kofi. I mean,
True.
and Jeff Hardy, we'll say. Jeff Hardy's the enigma, so you don't know what he's actually thinking. But
Yeah.
The charismatic enigma.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that was probably my match of the night.
Sheena, how about you?
I'm going to go with the other Elimination Chamber match. I'm going to go with the number one contender match. I thought there was just some really awesome spots. I mean, you had just incredible amount of talent in there. I mean, Cesaro really playing up the storyline of DB having the bad knee, doing the one-legged Cesaro spin. I thought was really cool. And then, Jay, he attempted the splash off the top of the chamber, which, is always like, I think we look at it and we're like, oh, that's high, but I can't even imagine being up there and thinking like, I'm about to dive off this thing, how high that's going to be. So that was a really cool spot. And then, Jay trapping Kevin Owens' arm in the cage and then just like, super kicking, stomping him out. I thought was really cool. Obviously we saw Daniel Bryan win that match and then have to immediately go face the tribal chief, which unfortunately for him didn't work out so well, but he did get a really cool, spear into a yes lock, which I liked. So I thought, he did get in a little bit of offense, which is the most that we've seen, really, Roman look like he could be defeated for just a split second. That match was only like 2 or 3 minutes long, but just for a split second, you could tell Roman was a little bit scared. So I liked that he paid respect to, DB in that way.
What about any letdown of the night, Sheen?
I would have to say the women's tag match was probably my letdown of the night. It was just, I'm kind of over Reginald. I just think it's unnecessary at this point. I don't know what his role is going to be going into Mania and that sort of thing. It just kind of, to me, that seems more of like a mid-card type of gimmick. You know what I mean? Somebody having I've heard it. How do you say sommelier or sommelier? Like,
I say sommelier.
I say sommelier, and then I hear other people say I don't know. He's the wine guy. Reginald, the wine guy. Okay. No matter how you say it, somebody please correct us. I used to work at the Cheesecake Factory. I can't believe I've opened plenty of bottle of wine. So, I can't believe I can't pronounce that word. But anyway, I just didn't think it did really enough to set up Bianca and Sasha Banks, if that's, the direction that we're going. I thought it really could have done a lot more for storytelling purposes. Shayna, and Nia looked okay. I mean, to me, it was just kind of a throwaway match, to be quite honest.
Marco, how about you? Is there anything you weren't particularly feeling from the show?
I think the letdown of the night was no Asuka at all. Not even a
Where was Asuka?
Not even a replacement for her.
The disrespect is insane.
That was a letdown for me because they did it for the triple threat match for Bobby Lashley. Now that Smooth Bobby is, he's probably on his way to the main event scene. We'll talk about that later, but Asuka's the champ. She is a champion, and there was no replacement, no qualifying match.
She's been a champion. That's the thing. She has been a champion, and it's just consistently, man.
They definitely, they were definitely backed into a corner by Lacey Evans' surprise pregnancy announcement. Congrats to her. Best wishes to her. But I don't know why they couldn't have just done an open challenge. Everybody's down there for it already. Send somebody up from NXT. Just give us, no storyline necessary. Give us a 12-minute banger of an Asuka match. You know what I mean? There's so many awesome women in NXT right now. You could have sent one of them up for just a one-off match to give them a little bit of exposure. So, I agree. But I think, the bigger MIA than Asuka was The Fiend, especially once I saw that the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber was going on last. I just assumed that we were going to get some kind of big Fiend moment in the Elimination Chamber. We've seen all kinds of creative run-ins over the years. I remember when Shawn Michaels busted into the chamber to take out Undertaker before their WrestleMania match about 10 years ago now at this point. Wow, it's crazy that's been 10 years. But I just thought for sure we were going to see The Fiend come out. But I guess he's just, he was hanging out with Papa Shango somewhere in parts unknown, apparently.
Yeah, that's not one of our things to talk about, but we cannot not talk about that. Literally, I was like, Seth, Papa Shango's back. Alexa does her little, voodoo spell, and then all of a sudden Randy Orton's puking up black goo. So I was like, we've seen this visual before, I believe.
Yeah, I seen it. So I was thinking, I think I said this a while back. A gimmick for The Fiend would be something pretty cool where he would pass on into different hosts, something like that.
Okay.
His spirit would go into another wrestler, kind of like he did with kind of like Alexa Bliss. Now she kind of has The Fiend kind of takes over. What if that's happening with Randy Orton? What if that the next phase of Randy Orton is kind of like this version of The Fiend that Randy
So it's
Orton's
like
gonna
it's
play.
basically like a zombie apocalypse happening, a
Yeah,
slow
like
zombie
he's-
apocalypse, or just kind of
he's-
like slowly turning into little fiend mongrels,
Yeah, what
fiend
if that he
goblins.
and he teams up with Alexa Bliss and they have this kind of like because she's kind of alone right now and I'm not sure where the Fiend is. So maybe he takes over Randy Orton for a little bit. Now Randy Orton's going to be this like terrorizing because he already is terrorizing. He lit a guy on fire.
I think that can be super cool. I'm all for like the faction life. I love when a megastar has like a faction of people around them. I mean, we saw that forming with Seth Rollins. Obviously, it didn't work out for the Messiah gimmick, but it made that gimmick so much more mage. And I think the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family was mage.
Let's look at the Hurt Business right now.
Yeah, the Hurt Business, exactly. Factions work. Man. Factions work. I think it's would be a huge misstep for them not to build a faction around the Fiend, especially since we've already kind of like tested the waters. Before it was like he's a loner, he's this weird entity, but now that we've tested the waters with Alexa Bliss, I think the possibilities is there for him to like open up and actually create like a Fiend family, and I think that would be so freaking mage. Like Sanity, they could be like Sanity and Jace, kind of just like weird, like creepy people. Sanity was mage too. You can't say Sanity wasn't mage.
They were cool in NXT. I don't know if I call them mage. They were definitely cool in NXT.
Well, yeah, in NXT,
definitely didn't translate to the main roster.
Yeah, it didn't translate at all to the main roster. But I mean, that was during that whole period of time when all the NXT call-ups were like getting completely misused.
Yeah. So I don't know if I probably slightly disagree with you guys that I don't know how over an undead army for the Fiend would get, but. The really insane thing is that if that's the direction it goes in, that probably wouldn't be the most crazy thing we've seen out of this Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt storyline. I feel like this is going to be, this is definitely going to be one of those storylines we look at, 5 or 10 years from now as just one of those batshit crazy wrestling storylines. Like, I just imagine if you ever go on Wikipedia and read like the wrestler bios on there, like in kayfabe gives like the wrestler's biography. I could just imagine reading all the details of this storyline broken down in black and white because it's been pretty ridiculous since the start.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of letdowns, we'll move on to the next topic, the end of Elimination Chamber. So Drew McIntyre once again fights off all the challengers, stands tall, and then out of nowhere, Bobby Lashley, still pissed off after losing the United States Championship, comes out, beats down Drew, and then we hear the Miz's music hit, comes down, cashes in, and wins the championship. It's pretty crazy. First off, hats off to the Miz. He is the first ever 2-time Grand Slam champion. That's a hell of an accomplishment. Yeah. It's crazy that the Miz got it. I don't even know. He's probably one of the last people I would think would have something like that. But, in kayfabe, that's one of the best achievements you could ever have. He's a 2-time Grand Slam champ. And it was very controversial online immediately. I think because the Miz really has not been very strong, Mr. Money in the Bank. We've seen him lose a ton. He really only
wasn't even the original Mr. Money.
Yeah, he didn't actually win the briefcase. He only has it now off of a lawsuit and then off a loophole. He already had one failed cash in, but regardless, Miz is once again the champ of almost 10 years between his two reigns. So that's pretty wild to come back and win it. I think. He's up there in the Bob Backlund territory as far as gap between world title reigns. But he's got it back. Marco, what did you think of the cash in?
It was a surprise. I wasn't even expecting that to happen at all. I mean, he was going to cash in at some point. I wasn't thinking it was Elimination Chamber. I was thinking maybe like Fastlane, maybe the next pay-per-view before, right before Mania. So like he was kind of locked in for that main event scene, but he jumped the gun and became champion. And I'm probably one of the few people that don't hate that he's the champion. Only because he's had he's great on the mic. People hate him. I mean, he does his job for what it's worth. Like he's never injured. He's there week in and week out. Like he says in his promos. Yep. He's that Intercontinental Championship is
very reliable
because of him.
Yes.
I mean, there's nothing bad. You could say he's kind of annoying and all that type of stuff. But other than that,
that's his job as a heel to be annoying.
My biggest problem has always been the in-ring stuff, man. I don't know. I think he's almost like he's very, he's technically sound or whatever, but I feel like it's almost too soft. Like it's unbelievable to me. I can definitely tell I'm watching pro wrestling when I see Miz in the ring, which I don't know. I think that's why he's never really connected for me. He's definitely a hateable heel. I'll give him that. He's not trying to be the cool heel that ends up getting cheered. Like this guy is going for the boost. And he manages to get him. he's a lot of people are saying that he is the weakest WWE champion of all time, just based off his performance over the past year going into this one.
Who do you think is the worst WWE champion of all
The
time?
weakest
Or the worst?
the worst. He can't be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. We've had some bad ones. I feel like Jinder Mahal. That one came out of nowhere. Jinder Mahal came out of nowhere. There was Bob Backlund in '94. He had a hell of a match with Brett when he won it, but he came out of nowhere, and then he ended up only holding it for about 8 days. So those two popped in mind. How about you, Marco?
I would probably fall in line with that. I mean, I can't think of anyone else. And I mean, with the Miz, when he won the championship the last time, he main evented WrestleMania. So I mean, Jinder didn't do that when he had the championship. And it's I can't think of anyone else that's like a real weak like champion. For the most part, they're all pretty like strong in a sense. Like, I mean,
What about Sheamus?
Even Sheamus is weak. I mean, I don't see him as a weak champion at all. I mean, they're really pushing him like crazy. He was in a feud with John Cena and everything. So I mean, I don't know. In the terms of weak, I think it's just like he said, like Jinder Mahal came out of nowhere that time.
Yeah.
There was like really no build. He just returned all jacked and everything and ended up winning the title off of Randy Orton.
That's all it takes when for Vince. That's all it takes. If you've got muscles on muscles on muscles, and you're a big guy, like you're in.
Yeah,
you're in there.
Like Sheamus had a build to him like that whole time. Like they were building him as the strong heel against John Cena, and then obviously he turned face and stuff afterwards. But yeah, I mean, I'd probably say Jinder Mahal or like Bob Backlund I mean, because obviously Bob's before my time, but I don't see anyone else as kind of like a weak champion in that sense.
Aside from strongest and weakest, because that's really subjective. Who's your personal least favorite WWE champion of all time, Marco?
Ooh, that's tough. Weak as in like one of my least favorite as in like
least
Ron
favorite,
or
just least favorite. Yeah, who's your least favorite of all the WWE champions?
Probably Jinder. Probably have to say. I mean, obviously he had the cool Punjabi prison match and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was really nothing to that championship run.
I feel like Jinder kind of grew into it. He definitely wasn't ready for it whenever he won it, but like the presentation changed slightly afterwards. He had the entrance where it blacked out, and then they had the red carpet.
The red carpet
rolled down the ramp and the Singh brothers would come out and introduce him. So like I think the reign kind of made him seem significant because he ended up holding that belt for about 7 months. For me, my least favorite, the Miz is going to be up there, man, just because I feel like he could lose anytime. I mean, the Miz he's not going to beat anybody clean. So the Miz is up there. I was never really a huge fan of Sheamus, like Sheena mentioned, when Sheamus, whether you look at the 2009, I think it was, when he beat John Cena for it, and then in 2015 when he cashed in from on Roman. That one was pretty weak. Going back to the old days when Sergeant Slaughter beat the Ultimate Warrior, I was like, what the hell? Sergeant Slaughter was another guy that even though he was such a heat magnet with the anti-American, Iraqi sympathizer gimmick, but I just could not buy him beating the Ultimate Warrior. Just look at Sergeant Slaughter. He just did not look like he would stand a chance against Ultimate Warrior in a fight. And then I'm supposed to buy him beating Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. Even as a little kid, I was like, how the hell is this dude the world champ? They pretty much,
True.
I think no matter who it was just the gimmick was the champ. They were going to slap that anti-American gimmick on somebody and make them champ. Because I don't know if you ever heard on Something to Wrestle, the episode for WrestleMania 7, they actually talked about, originally they were going to have Tugboat Thomas turn heel. He ended up turning heel and becoming Typhoon, but at first he was going to turn heel. I think Bruce said it was going to be something like Sheik Tugboat was going to be his name, and he was going to be the Iraqi sympathizer. But I guess somebody said that that was too far. At least Sergeant Slaughter was a legit legend at that point. Yeah. Sheena, what about you? Who's your least favorite champion?
I don't know. Like I said earlier, I'm going to have to go with Sheamus. I've just never bought into Sheamus ever. I just think there's just something about him. He's kind of got that, for me, he's just got that Cesaro factor where I'm just like, he's mid-card for life, So when he jumped up into the main event and won the world title, it's just like, meh.
Yeah.
Just meh. Okay. Maybe that'll be the next Chick Foley shirt. Sheamus, just Meh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sheamus is an awesome mid Carter. I think he's he's such a character. He's great in the ring, really hard hitting style. But yeah, I could definitely co-sign on that one. I think he's right where he belongs in the the Cesaro territory of just being a mid Carter that puts on badass matches. Which is funny because him and Cesaro actually
Yeah.
low key all time great tag team as the Bar.
Yeah.
All right. So again, Bobby Lashley definitely came in with the assist to help Miz successfully cash in. It's pretty crazy. Marco dug up that clip of MVP back in May saying that he would have a hand in it when Drew McIntyre lost the belt, and the prophecy came true. So kudos to WWE for some long-term storytelling, whether that was accidental or on purpose. But yeah, so now next Monday night, we're going to have a World Championship match. Bobby Lashley's taking on Miz. What do you think, Marco? Is Bobby Lashley leaving with the belt?
I don't know because he still have that extra pay-per-view between Mania. That's the whole. So I mean, he could win and then defend it against Miz at Fastlane and walk into Mania as a champion. I'm thinking he's going to lose. Monday he's not going to win, and then Fastlane will probably be the
I'm thinking we get some kind of fuck finish on
that's
on
gonna
Monday.
happen.
Miz is definitely he's a smart guy. He's definitely strategic in everything he does. He's got John Morrison hanging out. The Hurt Business has made all kinds of enemies over the past year. Not to mention Braun Strowman still probably got to be a little bit upset about getting his ass kicked on Monday night. So there's multiple people who are going to have a close eye on this match. And we still got Drew McIntyre lurking out there. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Drew's going to want to get involved also. So yeah, I agree. I think Miz is going to leave with the belt on Monday night. How about you, Sheen?
I think he's going to leave with the belt on Monday, but they're going to have a rematch at Fastlane where Bobby Lashley wins, which ultimately, by some turn of events, is going to set up, Drew versus Bobby. And then ultimately, my prediction is that they're going to try to roll back the hands of time and give Drew his true-ish Mania moment. I mean, who would have thought we're still going to be in this crappy world situation a year later? I mean, I wish there could be more fans, but I think it's definitely going to be better than having your Mania moment in the Performance Center. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think
is that what you're saying also, Marco, from here to Mania?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I see it going a couple of different ways. I see at Fastlane, it could on Monday. I think Drew McIntyre actually is probably the one that cost Bobby Lashley the match. And then sure. And then at Fastlane, it could be they could have a number one contender match or to face Miz at Mania, and then something schmozzy happens there, and it can end up being a triple threat at Mania where if neither one of them gets pinned, they can pin Miz for the title, and both of them look strong. Essentially, it can go tons of different ways, but you're definitely looking at a Bobby Lashley Drew McIntyre collision. That's inevitable. I think that's where it's going.
Yeah, somebody else that's still lurking out there that we haven't mentioned is Bad Bunny. Him and he's been beefing with Miz and Morrison. You got Damian Priest. So yeah, so many players here. But if it does end up being Drew and Bobby Lashley at Mania, do you think that's going to be one of the main events of one of the nights? I could see that maybe in the night one main event.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely.
I think so too. And then Edge and Roman for the night two main event because we haven't really seen any of the legends coming back. I felt like we would have seen Brock by now if Brock was coming back for a match. So I think for the first time in a few years, I think it's going to be all full-time people on the roster that are going to be there at Mania for their matches, aside from maybe Bad Bunny if he does end up having that tag team match that we've been rumored to see. So yeah, I agree with you guys. I think one way or another, it's going to end up being Bobby Lashley coming in with the belt to take on Drew, which is pretty cool. It's a hell of an achievement for I'm going to call it collectively for the Hurt Business, getting that world title. You know what I mean? I think it's definitely been a group effort getting Bobby Lashley to where he's at.
True.
He's definitely leveled up here over the past couple months.
I'm gonna quote one of our buddies, Mike from the Extra Cooler Show, his show this week. He said that Bobby Lashley has the charisma of a rotten apple. And I was like, I felt that deep in my soul. I was like, oh my God, I feel this so hard. So Mike, you were spot on with that. But yeah, the Hurt Business is so amazing and so talented and so mage that Bobby is naturally gonna go there, and it's gonna feel right because he's got the Hurt Business backing him. And Seth mentioned Edge, and Edge finally, he didn't officially, but he unofficially officially chose his opponent for Mania after Roman Reigns beat Daniel Bryan. He got a spear out of nowhere from Edge to Roman Reigns, and yeah, he pointed to the WrestleMania sign. Pyro went off. It was pretty magical and pretty awesome. So yeah, Edge is going to be facing Roman at Mania.
Yeah, that was definitely best sign point ever. You know,
Yeah,
he literally pointed and made fireworks go off. Pretty ridiculous. Yeah, so I think I was really hard on Bobby Lashley really since he came back. I've not been a fan at all, but you know, me and you discussed it a couple months back, Marco. He hit the interview cycle. He did an episode of Cheap Heat. He did an episode of After the Bell, Corey Graves. After hearing him on there, hearing a little bit about his story, I definitely started to like him a little bit more. He's I think he's one of those guys who's got a little bit of charisma, but just hasn't really had a chance to channel it yet on screen.
Well, I'm not talking about him as a person. I think, same thing with Miz. I think I love Miz. It's hard for me to separate the Miz from the Miz and Mrs. and the, Total Divas Miz that I watch, right? Where I know he's a family man and he loves animals and he's a good dad and a good husband. So I love the Miz because of that. So it's hard for me to diss the Miz because I'm like, oh, he's a good guy. Of course, I want to see him be the WWE champion. So I'm not saying Bobby Lashley in his real life has the charisma of a rotten apple.
No, we're not saying that. I was just saying that I started to like him more after seeing him on those interviews because I know he does got a little bit more to him. Sure, and I think the last couple of months they've repackaged him to just straight up just kind of show that raw aggression. That's what's really helped him get over and made that United States title run seem so significant.
He's not smacking his ass every week on Raw either.
Yeah, that was
bending over and doing the pose.
Yeah, that was kind of weird when they were. I forgot all about that. That whole.
You blacked it out of your. That was a very dark time. That was during the Lana Bobby Lashley era. Yeah, I think we've all collectively blacked that out of our memories.
Yikes!
I tell you guys, that was a hit. That got viewers. That had the eyeballs. That was the most watched segment every single week. Yeah, that was the main event segment on Raw when all that was going on.
True. Dark days.
All right, it's time for the weekly beverage break where we talk about what we're sipping on while we record the show. We'll kick it off with Sheena.
So I'm drinking this new Kona Brew Company. I don't know if you guys can see the can. Beautiful, gets you in the summer feel. It's an Island Colada Cream Ale. It's brewed with coconut and pineapple, and it tastes amazing. It's like an island. It's like a pina colada beer. What more could you ask for? So yeah, I'm here for this Kona Brew Company Island Colada Cream Ale.
Very, very tasty. Yeah, we picked up a 6-pack of that last week. It's good. Marco, how about you?
Nice. I'm sipping on the some Broken Skull.
Nice.
How you gonna stun on us like that?
That made one appearance in here in the Tidewater area of Virginia, and then
found
it
the one time it was here. Yeah, it actually just showed up in my memories recently. Seth and I a few years ago we were in San Diego together.
Let's try it first time.
Yeah, we drove down to El Segundo, went to the brewing company, and had it straight from the teat. Straight from the tap. It was Yeah, it was so good. So yeah,
Who says that?
Straight from the teat. Straight from Stone Cold's teat.
Straight from Stone Cold's icy cold teat.
Okay. I'm drinking, Marco, you may have heard of this one. This is from up in your neck of the woods. Narragansett.
Oh, yeah.
Della Shandy. Yeah, so I was in Rhode Island for, exactly, Gansett. That's what's telling you if you're up there. Don't say the whole name, just say you need a Gansett. So I was up in Rhode Island for about a month for work in 2018, and I got turned on to their lager, and then I was in a liquor store there and saw this, and I've always liked Shandy, so yeah, definitely had to get some of this. And again, they had it at Wegmans here locally. It's the first time I've seen it down in Virginia, so grab some of it. It's very tasty. Super, it says right there, it's refreshingly different, and that's the truth. So if you're around the East Coast, you got a chance to get some of this, go for it. All right, let's tie up some loose ends from the Wednesday Night Wars. Sting actually got physical, aside from just taking a powerbomb. We saw him come out and go on the offensive, laying waste to Team Taz. Hit a Stinger Splash, hit the Scorpion Death Drop. Darby Allin had that awesome entrance coming down on the zip line. Marco, what do you think of seeing Sting? How do he look?
I mean, it's Sting. I mean, he's moving. He's not the most. He's not fast.
He's
mobile. Not as fast as agile as he used to be. But and I think
thought the Stinger Splash looked okay. He got some decent air on it.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad. I mean, I think a lot of people thought he was. I mean, Was he kind of like? Oh no, he wasn't. I thought he was hobbling when he first, but he was dragging that body bag. So when he first appeared, I was like, oh my god, his back's like ruined because of Brian Cage. But then I was like, oh, he's dragging thing. But no, he looked good. I mean, I'm glad he's still. I'm not sure how physically he's going to get in this street fight at Revolution. But I mean, if that's any indication of what he can do, then I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, we want him to be in the best of health because he's up there in age, obviously, and these guys are a lot younger, a lot faster and stronger. But I think it's kind of like we want to be selfish as wrestling fans, and we want Sting to go all out and be that Sting.
Yeah.
But
True, but I think I don't think he would be doing anything that he hadn't. They're not going to force him to do anything that he doesn't approve. I don't feel like, what I mean. As far as the culture of AEW, from what I understand, I can't imagine them being like, hell yeah, you're going to get out there, you're going to take a buckle bomb, you're going to take a power bomb from freaking Brian Cage, all these things. So I think
forget about Matt Hardy. Don't forget about that. Get back out there.
Yeah, like the time Matt Hardy took a 20-foot drop onto a concrete floor, and they said, "No, go finish the match."
Yeah, let's just roll this back. I'll be like, forget what I said. Totally forgot about it. Yeah.
Well, in your defense, Matt Hardy probably doesn't remember that happening either.
True. Yeah.
Marco, I think you were right, man. When that match first got announced, I thought for sure that it was going to be some sort of cinematic situation, but I'm starting to think it's going to be in ring. Sting looked pretty tough. We saw him take a power bomb. He hit all his shit this past week. So yeah, I think it's going to be a legit normal match, which is surprising. It's crazy because Sting is 61. He's actually older than my dad. So I was telling Sheena, I was like, picture my dad getting power bombs like that on TV or something.
Yeah, it's hard for me to watch. It's almost just like when Daniel Bryan first started wrestling again and stuff, and he would do big moves. I'd be like, like every time I see Sting take a bump, I'm like holding my breath, like, oh God, this is it. You know what I mean? Even when Brian Cage had him up, I was like, oh my God. And it was not like, it didn't look like a...
Brian Cage didn't hold nothing back.
No,
he
didn't.
Power bomb.
Exactly.
It was a legit power bomb.
Yeah, man. He slammed him down. I mean, Sting hit that mat, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I feel like there's somebody better he'd be working with, because Brian Cage is all about high impact moves. Think about his last match he had with Darby Allin. He wrecked Darby, and Darby somehow stole the victory. Let's Sting it in there with the Young Bucks or, even Jericho, let's say Sting and Jericho go at something like that. But if he pairs off with Ricky Starks for most of the match, I think he'll be safe. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I agree because I love Sting. Sting's in my top 5 or 6 favorite wrestlers ever. Super cool. We got to meet him at WrestleCon in Orlando at WrestleMania 33. Very nice guy, and I wish nothing but the best of him. It's awesome that, like you guys mentioned, he's going to go out on his terms. I just hope that he is able to get the send-out that he's looking for this time and doesn't end up having to, limp out of the ring like he did back at Night of Champions 2015. The other big thing that we saw was the old Buck, Papa Buck, ended up getting, looks like he got damn near murdered on AEW by MJF and Chris Jericho. I mean, that got dark, man.
Yeah, that was like a Cody Rhodes match.
Yeah, that was a level of violence we don't normally see. That was like straight, like, B movie, like action villain type stuff, where they held him up and he's just knocked out with the blood. It was clearly fake, which actually somehow made it better that it looked so phony.
Yeah.
But yeah, they laid him out. He's got some serious heat on him for this match at Revolution. What did you think of it, Marco?
Oh man, it gave me shades of John Cena Sr. Back in the day when he was taking beatings from everybody.
Remember Miz Dad was taking everybody's beatings?
Yeah, that's right. That's true. But yeah, like I said, that was another shocking moment. Like you said, it looked kind of phony after a while, but I wasn't expecting them to completely destroy Papa Buck like that. I mean, he shoved him. He shoved Chris Jericho. That was it. I thought that was the end of it. You get my face, I'm going to shove you. I'm going to stand my ground. I wasn't expecting them to, bring them into the fold and, make an example out of him and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it was. Any old timers getting hurt on TV and with his blood shown, it always hits my heart. That's why I was scared for Sting a little bit when he went out there, but.
Leave the elders alone, man.
Especially Papa Buck. He's like the nicest guy. He does all their music.
Exactly.
If you watch Being the Elite, he did the theme
all
for that.
all those catchy ass tunes. It was all him, man.
Yeah, man, you're gonna ruin that guy's musical brain doing that. Jeez.
I know, and they set it up, at the beginning of the show because they had like Mama and Papa Buck, and then they had the Young Bucks, and they were like taking pictures beside like the trailer with like their name, their pictures on, and they're like, "Now take a picture," and then all of a sudden he's like slamming him, and there's like blood going down Nick's face, from the handprint. So yeah, they really set that up to be like a holy S-word moment. So.
All right, and then on NXT, the big thing coming out of it is in 2 weeks we're going to get the one-on-one women's championship match we've been waiting for: Toni Storm versus Io Shirai. Sheena, what's your prediction?
Man, Io's been the champ for a while. I mean, it's hard to bet against her because she always ends up coming out on top. But man, I love me some Toni Storm too. I think Tony's going to take it, dude. I think Tony,
wow.
I'm getting ballsy with my predictions. I just got to like throw stuff out there to try to like, regain my championship. So I'm just practicing right now with my bold predictions. So I think Toni Storm could definitely take it from Io.
Marco, what do you think? Is Io's title reign going to come to an end?
No, not on TV, no. It's their first time facing each other, right? Like they never faced one-on-one.
True, yeah.
So I'm going to go Io. I'm taking that, and then maybe if they do like a takeover, after Mania or something like that, maybe she'll lose it then. But I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't see Io losing on regular TV unless they're just going for like a shock.
Well, do we have it on the schedule? When is the next? We need to look up when the next NXT.
I think there's going to be some NXT matches on WrestleMania. But I don't know when the actual next takeover is going to be because now that WrestleMania is 2 nights, there's no takeover.
Well, they're not going to have time to set up. I don't think Io versus.
I mean, they got a whole other month, so.
Oh yeah, I guess it is farther out than I thought. But
they can continue the storyline. Yeah.
Also got some breaking news. So tonight on NXT UK, Gallus finally lost the NXT UK Tag Team Champion. Yeah, they lost them to Pretty Deadly, which I know absolutely nothing about. Marco, are you familiar at all with the tag team of Pretty Deadly?
I know they're very attractive guys. That's all I know. They're actually great in the ring, and they are. I'm not even joking. They are. Have you seen what they look like? They are very attractive.
I have not, man. I just it's kind of my. It's really kind of one of my biggest regrets as a wrestling fan right now is not watching more NXT UK because that kind of wrestling and the storytelling they do on that show is right up my alley as a wrestling family. That's the kind of stuff I love. It reminds me of really kind of like the early years of NXT before NXT really blew up when NXT was still kind of developmental. Mm-hmm. It's got a little bit of like NWA Power vibe mixed in it also, just low key, simple stories and then awesome matches once it gets in the ring. But no, I have not watched it as much as I should.
Yeah, they're like
models.
They're like GQ models. Yeah, they're beautiful.
They're pretty. They're deadly and pretty.
The blonde one has a man bun, which I'm here for. You got, I love me a good man bun. He's got like perfectly placed chest hair. Okay, I'm here for it.
Gallus, they had an assist from the pandemic breaking out, but they held these belts since October 4th, 2019. So they went a year and 4 months holding the tag team title. So that's a hell of a reign nowadays in wrestling.
The UK champs get some staying power, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Walter's going on almost 2 years. Yeah. They're stingy with their title reigns over in the UK. But yeah, Pretty Deadly has defeated Gallus for the tag belts. Once we wrap up here, as I'm putting the finishing touches on the show, I'm definitely going to throw on this week's episode of NXT UK, and I definitely recommend you guys do as well because they're doing some great stuff over there. It's just not a lot of eyeballs on it. All right, it's time for our top story of the week. Big Show is all elite. I think like most wrestling fans, I thought this was like a hoax or something or just a joke picture that somebody put together when this news broke. Big Show is just – he seemed like such a WWE lifer over the years. This month actually made 22 years that he's been with the company. But it's official. He's going to All Elite. He's going to be doing a little bit of commentating, a little bit of wrestling. Sheena, what did you think of the move?
Like you said, when I first saw the graphic, I was like, oh, I don't know why people would think this is funny. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'm not in on the joke. What's happening here? So then I looked it up and legit, it was like Big Show is all elite. Like it was posted from AEW's Twitter account. So, knowing what I know now about how, he wanted to commentate and stuff and it just, WWE didn't have a place for him. I'm all about going where you want to go to do what you want to do. I mean, Big Show is not a spring chicken. If he has an opportunity to go somewhere and do something that he wants to do and he's passionate about, like, freaking go for it. Like, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the move. I do think it's, he's going to be, from what I understand, he's going to be commentating on a new show that AEW is rolling out on Mondays, which is going to be on their YouTube channel. It's an online only, product. So it's just going to be YouTube exclusive. So yeah, it's called Elevation Monday
AEW
night.
Dark Elevation.
Yeah.
It's basically going to be like their C show.
Yeah. So, if that's what he wants to do and that's what's going to make him happy, I don't know what his end goal is, or what kind of bag he got for going over to AEW.
Paid.
Yeah. And we've just seen it so often with Big Show. He comes out, for all these different, one-off appearances, and he never really has a consistent character. So I just think, if this is what's going to make him happy, he doesn't have to take any bumps and, do all that, then, I'm all for it.
Marco, what's your all-time favorite Big Show moment? We got 22 years worth now to pick his all-time favorite Big Show moment in WWE.
In WWE, I thought you were going to switch it to WCW. So
I know it does feel like, I feel like he had. I still feel like his run in WCW was much more memorable. I don't know if it was just because I was a kid when it was happening, but I feel like I can think of 6 or 7 awesome things he did in WCW, or WWE it gets to be a little bit more of a stretch because it was a whole lot of upper mid card kind of monotony, mixed in there. But if you had to pick, what's something that sticks out?
I think you'd have to go with the debut. With the Big Show at
Valentine's Day Massacre.
Him breaking through the ring and throwing Stone Cold out, allowing him to win the match, turning the whole side of the cage into a giant door where he just swung out and won. I mean, that match was already pretty epic.
He sent Stone Cold to WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Stone Cold swung through and dropped down, and that was what
literally
Stone
threw him.
First time.
He threw him into WrestleMania. That would have to be it because that was shocking. I read dirt sheets and stuff back then, but not to the point where I knew he was going to appear. And then him talking about it too. He was under that ring for forever. When he was under there pretty much the whole match and maybe even before that. He said he had food and stuff under there and waters and stuff. And then when the time came, he couldn't even really hear because he had to listen for some type of cue where he was supposed to pop up or whatever. And he almost missed it at that point. But that definitely has to be my, because just seeing that live was the most shocking.
It was crazy.
Shit.
I still distinctly remember. I was at my friend's house watching that on pay-per-view. It was pretty wild. I think I probably have to go with on SmackDown, that time when Rey Mysterio was strapped to the gurney and Big Show just picked up the whole thing and swung him like a baseball bat. And the post looked like he killed him. I still don't know how Rey Mysterio didn't just break his face when that happened, man. That was one of the that was an extremely brutal spot, that I think's kind of gotten lost in the sands of time or whatever. Maybe because it was just on a regular episode of SmackDown. But I've never seen anybody take that bump like that. He's from he's basically Big Show's chest height, which is probably about 6.5 feet up. And he got dropped straight down on his chest and face with nothing to break his fall. I don't know. That one was brutal. Raise a G for taking that one.
Yeah,
SmackDown was wild back in the mid-2000s. Obviously everybody was stunned by the Big Show. Taking away the guys who we know would never leave WWE, like Cena or Roman Reigns, who would be your most surprising AEW signing, Sheen?
So does that exclude Undertaker too?
Yeah, Undertaker's retired, so.
You can always come out of retirement. Wrestling, you're never actually retired.
Money talks.
Money talks. That's right. Most surprising AEW signing. So can it be somebody that's active right now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we don't got too much rules. I said I took Cena and Reigns and Undertaker off the board. You got the rest of the wrestling universe to pick from.
I have my
yes. Most surprising. For me, it would be if Seth Rollins jumped ship and went over to AEW.
Yeah, see, I feel like I could see Seth jumping in a heartbeat, man. After you see everything that Dean's gotten to do, I wouldn't be shocked if Seth jumped, especially if Becky Lynch isn't there at WWE. What's your pick, Marco?
So I'll probably go with Randy Orton jumping over.
Yeah, Randy Orton's a good pick.
There was some low key. There were a little bit of whispers. I never got to full fledged rumors. There were some whispers that they were going to go after Randy Orton. Yeah,
that was back in the summer, right? I think I remember when that was kind of going down because he was having some back and forth on Twitter, right?
Yeah, and then he ended up re-signing with WWE. Yeah. I could see that happen though. Even if it wasn't necessary for a full run, I could see Randy Orton coming in for a big match at a pay-per-view, just a one-off with them. But yeah, Seth, like I said, I still think Seth's still got a whole lot of indie bloodline in him. I could totally see Tyler Black showing up in
Pretty
AEW,
sick.
like same way Mox did. Yeah, Randy Orton would be surprising, man. Randy Orton, he's same as Big Show. He's been at WWE for so long.
What about you, Seth?
If I had to pick one that would be really surprising, I would say I'm going to go with the Colognes. The Colognes have been at WWE for like 25 years. They're the ones that somehow they survive the cuts every year. They've been like Los Matadores. They've been just straight up the Colognes. They've been the Shining Stars. I don't know. Carlos Colon has some kind of dirt on Vince McMahon that keeps these guys under contract. So I think when Undertaker has already burned his bridge there and they get rid of the Undertaker, the Colognes will still somehow be on the WWE roster. They're still there right now. I haven't seen them on TV in probably 2 years, but those guys are there. So anybody at this point, nothing really truly surprises me in wrestling. But yeah, seeing the Colognes pop up on AEW Dark Elevation, I think would really stun me.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for Go Figure.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, Go Figure is where we talk about the latest in wrestling figure news and what we've added to our collections this week. This segment is sponsored by Ringside Collectibles, the #1 worldwide retailer of wrestling figures. Make sure you use code Chick Foley for 10% off on everything you buy at Ringside. Marco, take us away with figure news.
As always, yeah, definitely. So I think, Sheena, you posted about this, the WWE Wubble Rumblers.
Yes.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. They're like inflatable wrestling buddies almost. They showed an assortment of them on that ad, but it looks like it's I want to say Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, John Cena, and
there's an Undertaker.
Undertaker, yeah. And then there's like a Big E I seen in that ad as well. They look pretty cool. I mean,
Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Undertaker, Stone Cold, and Big E were the ones that were on this advertisement.
Yeah, and it's like I was doing some research on it on Target.com. There's already like a Wubble line. Like there's some like generic like Wubble like boxers and sumo wrestlers and stuff. So it looks like they just added some WWE licensed product to it. From what I can tell, it's going to be exclusively at Target.
Yeah, and it says so. It's not just strictly like an inflatable, like a beach ball. It says it's made from squishy, squashy, super soft, and lightweight material that is way more elastic than typical inflatables that make them the ultimate play fighting accessory.
Yeah, these things look like they're going to be a lot of fun.
They're 3 feet tall.
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. A couple of these for the Brett man, our 3-year-old son, because he loves getting the wrestling buddies down. Like he loves grabbing like Hulk Hogan and like the Finn Balor wrestling buddies. But I'm not telling any of our audience anything they don't know. Those things are worth some serious money, so they're not necessarily something that you want a 3-year-old playing with and spilling his chocolate milk on and everything.
Right.
Yeah, no, I was actually kind of questioning the material that it was made of. So I'm thinking just inflatable, like wrestling buddies will definitely pop or break if someone tries to do a dive off the
I think it's going to have definitely some sort of like internal bladder that like obviously pumps them up, but then it's got like that like stretchy, almost like spandex type of material over the top is what I'm thinking, but yeah, they're going to be cool. We're definitely getting one for the Brett man just to try it out, because these are like Seth said, they're right in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I might do that just to save myself some injuries so my kids aren't jumping on me all the time. So I might end up investing in a bunch of those.
Yes.
For myself. Moving on. So our friends over at Legends of Lucha Libre, they announced that they're doing Wave 2 of the Fanaticos. It's going to be featuring Vampiro, Taurus, who I spoke about, who actually is on Impact as a part of the faction. I'm not sure if you guys got to see Taurus. Scary looking dude. And I'm gonna pronounce the end of this gentleman's name. It's Pero Aguayo. And Ultimo Dragon is the last announcement that they had. So
that
actually
was
getting
big.
an Ultimo Dragon. A lot of people are saying like, oh, we need that premium version of it. Which I'm assuming that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what Seth said.
Yeah, they with all the belts too. You definitely need all the belts so you can recreate that picture of him holding all those titles and stuff like that. So
what do you guys think?
Yeah, what do you guys think of the?
I'm a big supporter of this line. Obviously, I'm a little bit more interested in the collector's edition line, but yeah, I already got Wave 1 of the Fanaticos on pre-order. As soon as I see pictures of these, I'm sure I'll probably end up ordering all these too. I'll definitely be getting Vampiro and Ultimo Dragon, and if Taurus and Paraguay look cool, I'll be grabbing those also. But yeah, got to support all these different companies out there. The more wrestling figures, the better, is what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And these are mostly like personalities and superstars you're probably not going to be able to see in other lines. So definitely having a line out like this and being able to get your hands on these figures is definitely a plus for all collectors out there.
You got any luchadors you want to see them do, Marco?
Oh man, like I said, definitely Ultimo Dragon. Definitely waiting for an original Conan when he first came into the game. Let me see.
I want to see a
La Parka, Juventud.
You got to come with a steel chair. Cool, yeah. So Juventude's coming out in Fanatico's Wave 1. I got him pre-order.
I mean for like the
collectors though.
The premium line, yeah.
I would want to see Conan in like the OG Conan form when he first came in. Then we got to get a K-Dog figure also. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they have a ton of different superstars that they can tap into, which I'm super excited for. Next on the line, not super excited about this voting, but hey, what can you do? So it's the WWE Elite Fan Takeover Ultimate Edition. Triple H is coming out, so you have the choice of 3 to vote for: King of the Ring 2000, Survivor Series 2006, or WWE Super Showdown 2018.
This reminds me of it's like 9 o'clock on a Friday night, and you're just chilling at home. You never really got any food in the house, and you're hungry. But like the only convenient options are, it's like Mickey D's, maybe like a Wendy's, and I don't know, like a really super ghetto Burger King. Like none of them are really, all 3 of them are cool. Once you get them, it'll be good, and you'll end up liking it. But none of them are sparking any kind of excitement, man. And then when I saw these choices, I was just like, what the heck? Obviously, we love our buddy Action Figure Attack over at Mattel. We love everything that Mattel's doing with the WWE line. It's really incredible, and really, especially in the last 2 years, they were already like, I would say, the best wrestling figure line ever. But in 2019, they really leveled up. Once they kind of hit their stride with the True FX technology, the lines have just been killer lately. You've seen the value. You know what I mean? It's been brand new figures that within 6 months they're going for $80 plus on eBay. So they're killing it. But with this Fan Takeover Ultimate Edition line so far, I have not been inspired by any of these choices. Even the Shawn Michaels, that was probably the best set of choices they gave us. Even those were kind of like Sheena says, meh. And same thing with this one. I saw these, and I'm not really super excited to have any of these. So obviously, if the finished product looks cool, I'll probably still grab it. But none of these 3 were in my top 500 most wanted action figures. How about you, Marco?
I mean, I made a choice on Twitter. I went with I didn't actually vote, but if I had to choose, I was going to go with King of the Ring 2000, just because that was kind of like almost like the rise of Triple H in that sense that year. So where he won at WrestleMania and all that stuff. So the Super Showdown 2018. I mean, we already have kind of like an old Triple H in the Mattel line already, so really don't need that one there. Survivor Series 2006 with the DX gear looked pretty cool. That would probably be my second choice if I had to go in order. It'd probably be in that exact order. Probably King of the Ring 2000, Survivor Series 2006, and then Super Showdown 2018. So, but yeah, I mean, like you said, the voting on this one in particular didn't really catch my eye as much, but the figure's going to look great regardless.
Yeah, it is going to be. It's going to be a great figure. That's no doubt. I wish they would have done maybe instead of the SummerSlam '98, it's going to be in the upcoming Elite line. Maybe have that be in the Ultimate Edition. That's been such a wanted figure for a long time.
Yeah,
I would say that, or even I'd be down to get the OG, the Greenwich Blue Blood. The Connecticut Snob Triple H in Ultimate form. The only figure we have of that is the Network Spotlight from back in 2016 from Toys R Us. So that'd be kind of cool to get in Ultimate form also. I don't know. These choices are like Sheena said, meh.
All right. So we'll move on. So some ringside pre-orders that popped up. So we have the Triple H. Speaking of Triple H, he's all over the place right now.
It's definitely been Triple H heavy this week in figure news.
He's actually in. I think he's actually in the basic 119 as well. That's also up for pre-order.
He is in the
yeah, the black suit. Actually, I call him NXT Triple H. That's who's in that line. But
Dad Triple H.
Dad Triple. But yeah, they have so Triple H versus Jeff Hardy, the Elite 2-pack, which looks pretty cool. I like the packaging because it has the throwback SmackDown logo on and stuff like that.
And these Elite, for the people that are buying these figures as an investment, these Elite 2-packs have gone up big time on the secondary market. I was searching around looking at the Roddy Piper Mr. T 2-pack the other day. Yeah, these things are going up in value big time because Ringside, even though they're not Ringside Collectibles exclusives, Ringside's really been the only place you can get these things.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I missed the boat on the first few of them. I don't think I didn't get the Finn Balor and AJ one. I didn't go for the Samoa Joe and
Rey Mysterio
at all either. Yeah, I think I kind of like skip those ones there, but yeah, no, they are definitely like kind of climbing up there, kind of like the Ultimate Edition did when it first came out. A lot of
did you get the Hardy Boys pack?
Yes, I did. Yeah, with the old school belts and everything.
Yeah,
the Ringside exclusive one. Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yes.
But yeah, they like the same thing with the Ultimate Edition when it first was announced and they were first shown. Like everyone was like, we're not sure we really need these, but as soon as they like hit your hands, if you're not MOC and you open it up and you actually like see the figures in person, you're like, oh my god, this is the greatest things ever. And then just
Dougie Nunya in our group on Facebook, he actually had basically the whole collection up for MOC up for sale earlier this week. So
because he had a loose collection and an MOC collection, he let go of his MOC collection.
Yeah,
dang,
I know, right?
He must have made bank off
of that. He needed more money for micro brawlers. So he's like, man, I gotta unload some inventory because if pro wrestling team is gonna be doing me like this on the micro brawlers, we'll have to get some more funds.
If you're gonna be a completionist, you definitely have to pick a line that you're gonna be completing because they go crazy if you're gonna try to be a completionist in multiple different series and different lines and stuff like that.
You have all these figures, but won't have a house to keep them in. Just be out on the street with your shopping cart full of figures.
That is also true.
You can just build you a shelter out of the boxes. You know what I mean? Like just stack them up and then live in your house of figures.
Oh man! But yeah, the other pre-orders they have are the Showdown 2-packs. So you have Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, Matt Riddle and AJ Styles. And John Morrison and Kofi Kingston. I want to say the AJ and Matt Riddle is from SmackDown that they had, I think, last year.
They've never had a pay-per-view match, so it'd have to be from SmackDown.
Because I think I went on a streak saying like when he debuted on SmackDown and he had that match with I think John Morrison, Matt Riddle, and then the following week or the week after with AJ Styles, I was like those are probably the two best matches. They could be like ranked as two of the best matches of the year. At John Morrison and Matt Riddle matches, I still go back and watch it. It was almost like watching NXT, like an early NXT match on SmackDown, like the hard hitting moves that they were doing, and they obviously the uncanny athleticism of John Morrison at his age, just doing all this parkour stuff. Yeah, dude, it was pretty insane. Still floored by that. Yeah, definitely. That's not my retro pick, but definitely. Go back and watch that. It was late last year, I think during the summer when he debuted. But after that, we already spoke about this. So Basic 119 is also up for pre-order. I believe that's Dominic Dijakovic.
He's definitely the highlight of it. Yeah. And then the Triple H. I was nervous because this Basic 119, we didn't see there weren't pics of it until very, very close to the actual release. I was afraid that they were reworking the Dijakovic figure to be a T-bar figure. I thought maybe they'd throw an old shield, vest on there and craft up some kind of mask to make him into T-bar. So this is probably going to end up being the only chance we get to get Dijakovic. I can't imagine. I got to imagine if he gets an Elite, it's going to be as as T-Bar. So yeah, I'm definitely jumping over that one. That'll probably end up being the only figure that I add from this set. How about you, Marco? You looking at anything from 119?
Maybe, yeah, definitely the Dominic figure. Maybe the Papa Triple H one, just to have a NXT version of Triple H with the all black suit.
It should come with pointing fingers.
That would be pretty cool
If it came with like a pointing finger, like
to do the classic NXT champion photo. Yeah, I got the suit of Triple H from the battle pack he did with Daniel Bryan back in I think 2015 that came out.
Yeah, I wish you could with the basic series ones. Maybe you can because obviously he's not gonna have the finger point, so maybe you can remove the hand and add a.
I'm sure you can, yeah.
And just do
it.
Yeah,
you definitely can.
Yeah,
I did a hand removal on my the basic Firefly Funhouse Brave that came out. Yeah, I did a hand swap on that one. I took the hands out and put some of the elite hands in, and they fit fine. So yeah, you can do it. It's a little bit harder to get the hands out that come with the basic, but you can definitely swap them out. I did that with my brain. It looked pretty good. Marco, what did you add to your collection this week?
Let's see. So I actually have them next to me, so I can actually show them on camera. So I received the some of the UFC Series 1 from the one Seth Phelps.
Oh, nice! They got their clip, man.
Yeah, their hair right here. So,
woohoo!
What did you think of Conor?
Conor McGregor, awesome. Israel Adesanya and Uriah Faber. I actually have Amanda Nunes and Jorge Masvidal coming in the mail. I actually got the Chase one too, because it has that 1 of 1,000 sticker on it. And I believe that's the first ever Jazzwares Chase that you can actually get on ringside actually. So
yeah.
I mean, I would definitely.
Who's your most wanted UFC figure now that they got the scale ironed out to match up with these? Who's your most wanted UFC figure? I got two in mind.
Definitely Anderson Silva. I have to have a scaled Anderson Silva, one of the greats, if not the greatest ever. Let me see. I kind of want Chuck Liddell DC. Too.
Yeah, Chuck Liddell would be cool.
Yeah,
definitely Daniel Cormier. Yeah, so to get the Marco custom going. I think for me, man, I want Khabib. I want Khabib with the big blonde afro. We need him. And I don't know how they could work it contractually. I think, as far as I know, he's a free agent right now. I'd love to see a UFC Brock Lesnar. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do kind of a Legends line for the UFC series. So, Jeremy.
Can you imagine getting Hoist Gracie? Hoist Gracie with the gi and everything. Ken Shamrock. Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Another Ronda figure?
Yeah, another Ronda in UFC. Kimbo Slice.
Yeah. Kimbo, they could literally go back to UFC 1, and there was a bunch of legends in those very first brutal fights that they could.
It was like the King of the Ring, but legit, man. It was a one-night tournament, man. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine nowadays if you were in a tournament, so you don't even know who you're going to be fighting? Not to mention you're fighting 3 times in one night. It was ridiculous, man. The original UFC was so freaking incredible.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but one of them, I think, because my birthday's on New Year's Eve, I believe one of them was either on New Year's Eve weekend.
Yeah.
One of the very, very first UFC, and I remember I ordered it, and I remember watching it all because it went well into it started late in the night and went well into the next day. It was it was an all-night tournament.
Yeah, I remember those first the first super fight. I remember there was Ken Shamrock versus Hoist Gracie. I remember that thing lasted 35 minutes, man. And it was no rounds. These guys were just grappling for 35 minutes. Yeah. It was crazy, man. The original UFC was off the chain.
Yeah. And then for Ultimate Editions, I'm pretty sure everyone has these in already. We have Lusty Edge.
Sultry Eyes Edge. Yeah, Lusty Edge.
Lusty Sultry Eyes Edge. He actually is. He has a little smirk to him as well. He's smirking at you through the package.
He's ready for it. Yeah.
I'm gonna probably keep him in here because he's kind of scaring me. He might take over my household.
Yeah, he's Netflix and chill Edge.
Yeah, and then obviously the Macho Man. I'm assuming you guys got these. What do you guys think of these in hand? I haven't opened them up yet.
Cool. The Edge is definitely the best Edge that we've ever gotten. That figure looks awesome. It looks even better in person than it did online. Macho Man figure's cool. to me, there's been so many iconic Macho Man matches and attires. Like, I don't know why for the Ultimate Edition we went with just a random Saturday Night's Main Event. You know, I feel like if anything, I feel like they could have ran back WrestleMania 7 Macho Man. You know what I mean? Give us the true Ultimate Edition of that, or even go back to some of the 80s look with the robe and stuff. But it's cool. You know, it's definitely a great looking figure. It's going to pop on the shelf with all that color. And I do like that it's a little bit of a throwback to the Hasbro Macho Man that came with the jacket and cowboy hat and stuff. Anything else this week, Marco?
No, that's it. That's all I have that I got in the mail. So,
Sweet.
On to you guys.
So just like you, we got the UFC Series 1 and Ultimate Edition 8. Really happy to get both of those sets. I picked up the Hasbro Mountie figure from Yestertoy 757. That's a local vintage for collector's toy store that they have here in Virginia Beach. Really cool store. Anybody that's in the hobby knows that a lot of times those old stores like that are just kind of a mishmash, you know, a little bit of a hot mess once you go inside. Shit's everywhere. There's no real organization. But Yes Toys is not, you know, it's a nice, clean store. It's a place you really want to spend some time in going through the stuff. And I've gotten to know the owner over my last 2 visits there. He's a huge wrestling fan, and he's very knowledgeable on all the figures. So I scored the Mountie for a steal. This dude's in like mint condition, very, very little paint wear. I got him for $10. And then I know this is sacrilege to some of the hardcore Hasbro collectors out there. I was able to find a 3D printed replacement shock stick for $7 on eBay. So I got that because you guys know the Mountie with the OG shock stick goes for like $50+ on eBay. But I was able to get something that's going to look just as good on my shelf for like $18. And since I'm not a super hardcore Hasbro collector, that's good enough for me. So I picked that up. And then last but not least, we got the entire AEW Series 4 right here, and we're going to have Sheena do one of her patented live reviews on the air. So we're going to run through it. So our friends Jeff and Scott, you know, they do points of articulation. We're going to do chicks here. So Sheena's going to look at the figures. I'll hand them to her, and she'll give each figure from 1 to 5 chicks. So we will start off with Santana. So Sheena, what do you think of Santana?
So I'm loving this Santana figure. I love the additional head sculpt that comes with the eye patch. His ring gear looks awesome. He's got the overalls that are, flopped down, total early 1990s style.
He's got the Molotov cocktail.
He's got the Molotov cocktail.
we really need Sue's band to go along with this.
Yeah, it's like actually looks like a tennis ball and some socks. Is what it looks like. But yeah, he's got a his tattoo paint apps, the paint or the sculpting on his pants. Everything looks phenomenal. I'm loving these Santana and Ortiz figures for sure.
So how many chicks do you give it?
Oh, I give it a 5 chicker. It's a 5 chicker. Yeah.
So setting the bar high to start off. So perfect 5.
Well, we're talking about just out of this series, right? Like or out of the whole AEW line.
We're talking about the entirety of wrestling figure history here, folks.
Okay.
So how many chicks do you give it then? You can go decimal points too. You don't got to be just 1 through 5. You can just throw some nuance on there.
I'll still give it a 5. I'll stick with my OG. I'm not gonna backtrack on Santana like that.
All right, Ortiz.
Oh, this is actually better though. I like. How am I going to be?
So we're already going to the Meltzer scale. You know how he gave Omega and Okada like 7 stars. Yeah. So Sheena's already breaking the scale.
Okay. So Ortiz looks dope. He's also got the overalls that are flopped down. He's got the towel hanging out of the front, and inner circle T-shirt. Got an additional head sculpt with a bandana and some dreads. But I'm here for the fro. I love the big fro head sculpt. He comes with a chancla, and an additional set of hands with gloves.
Does he got the toe shoes also?
And he's wearing 5-finger toe shoes. Yeah, he's got 5-finger toe shoes. Are his? Santana's overalls. His pants go all the way down. Then we got Ortiz here with the crops. He's wearing the Euro style overall. So. Yeah, I give this figure a 5 too. I think.
Wow. Okay, so the first 2 figures on the new live review feature are both getting 5 chicks. Hey, for those listening right now, we didn't want to start the show with it because it's still a trial feature, but this is most likely going to go up on video on our Patreon feed. So Sheena's holding up all these figures on the camera stuff. You can check them out as we're doing them. Well. And so that's something to look forward to. That's going to be exclusively on Patreon. We're going to start posting these video ones if we can work out the technical glitches. We're still kind of working it out. So,
and we'll get our lighting and everything set up so you guys can actually see these figures better clearly.
Up next, we'll go with Broken Matt Hardy. What do you think of this one, Sheen?
I mean, the figures mage. We already have a broken Matt Hardy.
From the WrestleMania Elite line last year.
I don't know. I feel like this might be like a touch better than that one, but
I think it's a lot better, yeah, because this is, when you think Broken Matt, you think of the black and red. This is kind of the most iconic look. The one that they gave us was from when he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. It was the white and gold gear. One other cool feature, they also gave us Vanguard, the Phantom DJI drone, and but theirs was Mattel's was just a flat plastic silhouette. This is actually a head sculpt, and I just learned, because people are just now starting to unbox these things, there's actually articulation on that. The head moves on the little insert that you can stick in Vanguard 1. So
that's insane.
Pretty freaking cool. I got to sit on this one always hit on the sweet spot for me because it's the same drone I have. The drone that Matt Hardy uses is the drone that I have that I use for fishing. So it was always pretty cool to get that in figure form.
Yeah, so he's got his delete finger, on in the box. Comes with 2 additional sets of hands. He's got his like trench that's not duster. I guess duster is the proper terminology. Looks amazing. I'm gonna go with a 4.5 on
4.5 for Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy, yeah.
Mark, do you got any of Unrivaled 4 in yet?
Not yet. No, I'm on like the 5th or 6th wave of those.
Which ones did you order the whole set, or which ones did you order?
I got the whole set.
Nice.
I just did them separately, just so like they all like show up on time. I didn't order them all at the same time because they're all like different time frames that they were going to be available. So I think I got the whole set of that because definitely wanted that Kenny Omega with that gear on Kenny Omega is pretty awesome. That's probably like my favorite gear that he has.
Figure out. So
Sheena,
Unrivaled 4 Kenny Omega. This is the 3rd Kenny Omega that we've gotten in the Unrivaled line. We had he was in Series 1 in the black and purple with the jacket, and then he was the exclusive figure that came with the real scale ring and the black and green DX type gear. So what do you think of Series 4 Kenny Omega?
Well, I love the colorway on this Kenny. It's like gold and bronze and silver, very metallic. So I like that. The face sculpt is okay. It's not my favorite, I don't think. I do like that they got his hair right. Our original Series 1 Kenny was one of the early ones, and he's like, looks like Elvis with his like, stark black hair. So,
I don't know what he had going on.
I don't know what he had going on.
The hair was fixed by the time the exclusive figure came with the ring. The hair was fixed on that one.
Yeah, it was definitely better.
They did do a running change too in the first series.
Yeah, there was a running change on the hair in Series 1 also.
So they did do a running change, but unfortunately, our Series 1 Kenny is one of the.
He was first run.
Yeah, the dark black hair. So I'm going to give this figure, mainly because of the ring gear, I'm going to give it a 3.5. Other than that, it's just. It's just okay for me.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I like this Kenny. I think it's the best Kenny they've done so far, really because of the head sculpt and everything. I actually like the head sculpt a lot. I think it's the best they've captured Kenny. It may be more, like Sheena mentioned, it may be more the hair than the actual head sculpt. The vest is really cool. You can't see it. We've still got all these MOC right now, but you'll see it once you open it up. The back half of the vest has got the feather texture, as an homage to the one-winged angel. I think it's definitely the best Kenny we've gotten so far. But as you guys know, I'm not the hugest Kenny fan. So Dave Meltzer, cover your ears if you're listening right now. But I think it's a cool figure. I'd probably give it maybe 3. Would you give it 3.5?
3.5. Yeah.
I'll go 3.6.
Oh, okay. I see how you are. All right. So next up we have Cody.
Another one of my favorites.
This is Seth's absolute favorite figure. He was so stoked to get this one. He's wearing his Throne Breaker shirt, which we all know is one of my favorite things that Cody has done since he's been on AEW, is, break that Triple H-esque throne with his big sledgehammer.
It wasn't Triple H-esque. It was Triple H from Spirit of Halloween. Yeah, it was so... It did make an awesome shirt. The shirt is super cool. I think it's one of the big reasons why I actually like this figure. I think it's the best Cody figure they've done so far out of the... I think we're up to like 26 Cody figures so far, right, Marco?
I like the Blood and Guts Cody a lot.
Yeah, but I did not like that moment. I thought it was just such a try hard.
Yeah, it was a very cheeseball try hard moment. And that's back when, they've done a better job kind of like breaking away from mentioning WWE or like, alluding to WWE every freaking week. But that was back in the early days when they were just like constantly taking jabs and trying to think they were like too cool for school and like, trying to just like everything that WWE did, AEW was talking about it, and I hated that when that was going on back then. So I'm a little bit hard on this throne breaker. Like Seth said, the shirt looks mage. The moment was repug, to take from our friends over at Cheap Heat, but I'm going to give this figure a 3. I'm not the biggest fan of lime green. Like, that's just not like my colorway. So the lime green and silver really doesn't appeal to me. The face scan, the smiling Cody with the open mouth, yeah, it's just meh for me.
I actually like this Cody. I think it's the best Cody they've done so far. Again, we got plenty of choices to go off of, but very cool figure. The shirt looks amazing. I like it. I'm a fan, which is really tough for me to say. And the other cool thing is, I think this is going to be the last Cody figure we get without that awful neck tattoo. So
yeah,
this is going to be your last chance to get Cody without that horrible tattoo that he's rocking. All right, so last up, we're going to go with the standout from AEW Unrivaled 4. I think this is definitely the most wanted figure.
Yeah.
Sammy Guevara. Sheena, what do you think?
So we got Sammy Guevara with the hit me up sign. He comes with the shades. He's got his signature tongue out facial expression on. A black leather coat, black boots with gold trim. He's got the gold trim on his trunks. I love this figure. I think it's awesome. I'm going to give it a 5 just because it was a definitely missing piece for the collection. I'm glad we're rounding out the inner circle. We still have a couple missing pieces, but I'm stoked to have Sammy in the collection.
And who are the chases on this set, Marco? Isn't I think Cody's one of the chases, right?
I believe so. Huh.
I can't remember what the chases were for Series 4. I think Cody was. I'll look them up real quick. Let's hit up our buddy D Freedom on Instagram. But I was asking that because I think they missed a golden opportunity. I think we need to chase Sammy Guevara with a super oversized inner circle jacket.
T-shirt. Or was it the jacket?
Yeah, it was the jacket. Remember when MJF got inner circle the jackets and Sammy's was like 3 sizes too big? Yeah. Imagine if they did that figure for him.
That would be awesome.
I think it was
Cody and Matt Hardy. I think Cody and Matt Hardy are the 2 chases. Yeah. Matt's got like a different ring gear underneath. And then I think Cody's just Cody's got gold pants instead of the black and green. So really good set. Jeremy,
it's a great
friend
set.
of the show, Jeremy Padawer has been true to his word. The AEW line has improved set by set, and I am beyond stoked to see what they do with this line in 2021. It's going to be incredible.
And we have some awesome figures coming up, man. I mean, we got Luchasaurus on the docket. We got Jungle Boy coming up.
Series 5 looks like it's going to be even better than Series 4. Yeah. So I was actually a little bit lukewarm when we saw the lineup for Series 4, but after I got these figures in hand, I was like, okay, these things are freaking awesome. And it's great because, I think Mattel is still the industry leader without question, but they're putting a little heat on them. We're going to get double jointed elbows in the Mattel line, which is something we needed for a long time. So,
this gives them a reason to step their game up. I mean, how long would it have been before Mattel was like, you know what, we need to add additional articulation to these figures. We need to step it up a little bit if there wasn't another, player in town. I think it really just helps, push everybody forward. Just like we talked about, when AEW was coming, it was becoming a thing. More wrestling makes all wrestling better because they have to. There's competition in town, so there's more things for people to put their eyeballs on. So I love it.
El ídolo.
All right, it is time for Quarantine and Chill, and we actually have a new sponsor for this segment. It's going to be brought to you by Verb Energy Bars. Sheena, tell us about this new product.
Verb reached out and wanted to sponsor the show, so I'm super excited because, we don't need energy drinks. We can have energy bars. Actually, we can have both, but I love these little guys. They're clean ingredients. You guys know, in my alter ego, in kayfabe, I'm like a hippy-dippy, nutrition nerd, so they clean ingredients. 90 calories, 65 milligrams of caffeine. So they have about as much caffeine as an espresso shot. So if you're sitting in your office having your midday slump, you need to pick me up, pop one of these. They're super awesome. They just launched a new peppermint mocha flavor, which is like Thin Mint. If you like Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies, It's the jam. So you can use our affiliate link. You can get your starter kit, which is a full bag of Verb energy bars plus 4 additional bars for $10. And I'm super excited to have these guys on board to sponsor the show. So definitely take a look at the site. Like I said, we'll be posting the link in the show notes. And yeah, so Quarantine is Chill is now brought to you by Verb.
And,
Nice.
I think we've talked about it before, but just to remind the folks, we have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old that are both full of energy, and this is what you use when you need a boost. Keeping up with those two little
Oh
wild
yeah,
ones.
I could drink coffee all day. Like I'm a coffee addict, but it's too acidic. It hurts your stomach. And I gave up energy drinks for a long time until we did sleep training. I had not had an energy drink from 2016 until last month. So it had been
Wow.
years since I had drank anything in semblance of a Red Bull or a, Full Throttle or anything like that. So I used to be a hardcore addict on those things and I gave them up cold turkey. And yeah, so I supplemented with, Verb bars are awesome. And then obviously coffee, but yeah, so definitely those, if you know any teachers or healthcare workers, this is a great gift for them because they've had a tough year and they need a little pick me up. So get them some Verb bars and help out your fellow teachers and your educators and healthcare workers.
All right, before we get into the recommendations, we got a little bit of Quarantine and Chill news. A&E announced that they're going to be hitting us with some wrestling content later on this year, actually starting up in April, shortly after WrestleMania. So it's going to be 2 different series that are going to run for 8 weeks apiece. We have Biography, WWE Legends, which the A&E Biography series, that's been something that's been going on since I was a kid. They pick a different celebrity or historical figure and just do a deep dive of what they got going on. So some of the people included, it's going to be Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, Ultimate Warrior, and that. But then also there's going to be a WWE Most Wanted Treasure series that they're going to have airing right after, which looks to be pretty cool. They're going to be hunting down different pieces of memorabilia. It's hosted by Triple H and Stephanie, so it's definitely going to be it's going to be a corporate approved show.
Yeah.
So I don't know how how in the
busy.
nitty gritty we're going to be getting. I don't think we're going to be getting any paraphernalia from any of like China's like post WWE career or anything like that.
We're not going to get Al Snow's head.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but it should be pretty cool. Marco, what's your take on this upcoming A&E content?
They're pretty familiar. So if you watched, early 2000, late 99, early 2000, I think A&E actually did a few documentaries.
They did, yeah. They had like WWE Week. Yeah, I remember that. That's the first thing I thought of, man. It's funny. Yeah, I didn't want to nerd out too much and be like, I remember when they did this before. But I remember they had Mankind and Owen Hart were the two that I remembered. And I want to say they showed Wrestling with Shadows during that week also. The Bret Hart documentary. I think that was like the end of it. But I definitely remember the Owen Hart and Mankind biographies during that. I can't remember who else they had, but this isn't the first time they've done this.
Yeah, I want to say Stone Cold they did maybe, and I want to say Hulk Hogan too. I could be wrong, or something, or someone. I forget who it was, but they did a few of those back then. So
the Owen Hart one was really, really good, man. That one hit you right in the feel spot. That one was rough.
Yeah, so they do have the history with A&E. I'm super excited. Obviously, Warriors in it, so I'm assuming it's A&E too, so they can kind of get a little nitty gritty if they want to with their documentaries. So I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to show, and it just adds on to my speculation that they're trying to get Dark Side of the Ring out of here. As we like to say.
Definitely,
definitely. The Icon show with the documentary show, they're trying to take as many of those superstars and do documentaries on them before. Dark Side of the Ring gobbles them all up. So,
let's be real though. Dark Side of the Ring. I mean, people are still going to watch Dark Side of the Ring because they're bringing obviously we can't be sure how much of it is 1000% truth. I mean, there's always 3 sides of the story, but they're going to give you the dark side. Whereas anytime you're getting stuff from WWE, it is a little bit fluffy. And a little bit feel good, even on their darker, segments.
And I like it because, I actually like this because for the WWE guys, for the most part, I know damn near everything there is to know about them. I like it when Dark Side of the Ring was doing the non-WWE, WCW stuff, like when they did the UWF episode, the episode about Dino Bravo's death. Like that's the stuff that really kind of gets me going and gets me pumped up more so than rehashing stuff like the Montreal Screwjob or like Brawl for All. So More content's always better, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what A&E can crank out. Sheena, tell us about Young Rock.
So I have not watched Young Rock yet, but after I heard that 5.13 million viewers tuned in,
The millions.
the millions
And millions.
of the Rock's fans tuned in. And so this is a little biographical look at his life. Like it's going to go in different chapters from his childhood up through college, playing football into his wrestling career. So it's super cool. What I think is awesome, is there are so many people in the world right now who do not know The Rock as a wrestler, right? Like they don't even have any idea that The Rock ever had anything to do with WWE. Yeah. They just know him as The Rock, the guy who does all the movies.
It's been 18 years since he was a full-time wrestler.
Yeah, you know, and it's really cool because I think seeing, so many people are going to be watching this, that I think this could bring so many new people into the wrestling fold, when they see, because, anything that The Rock is involved in is going to be funny. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be well done. And based on the numbers that this first week pulled out, I mean, clearly people liked it. And the reviews that I've seen so far have been extremely positive. So I think this could be a really cool way to, cross promote and get more eyes on wrestling, and really kind of bring a whole new audience into the fold. Especially women. I know women are going to be watching The Rock in everything that he does. You know what I mean? Like the ladies. So it would be cool, to get more lady fans into wrestling and, kind of stoke their fanhood a little bit,
Marco, did you get a chance to watch Young Rock yet?
I did not. I was actually talking to my wife. Yeah, I was actually talking to my wife about this. The idea that that this show is actually on, and like you said, there's a lot of people that didn't know that The Rock was a wrestler. Let alone did he grow up with multiple, kind of like the way he said it, like he had multiple fathers in wrestling. Yeah. You're gonna see like the likes of Junkyard Dog.
He's a multi-generational. Yeah.
So all these guys raised him. That's the other thing. Like he talks about this all the time. Like he grew up in wrestling. Like all these men and women that are around him. They raised him along with his father, like his Rocky Johnson. So like Andre the Giant, like you said, Junkyard Dog, the Wild Samoans, like even Macho Man's in it. Like all these personalities. You if you're not a wrestling fan. And you obviously you know who The Rock is. Now you're gonna open your eyes. You're gonna be able to see this firsthand. That this guy that you see as a megastar in Hollywood actually was a wrestler and actually grew up in the world of, like, his life is wrestling. Like his childhood all the way up to now.
Wrestling created him. Yeah, WWE created The Rock. And as the megastar. I mean, obviously he's an insane workaholic and, all those things. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from what he's been able to accomplish because, I mean, we see there's tons of people out there that are incredible talents in WWE, but you got to have that extra lot of something to be like The Rock. But yeah, he definitely took what he was given in WWE and, put the rocket strap on it and sent it to the moon because, I mean, it's just incredible. Like he has 200 million followers or something on Instagram.
On Instagram, to hit that mark.
It's bananas.
Also, a little Chick Foley trivia and my personal claim to fame. Sheena talked about the rocket strap. I was there when they were building the rocket. The first Rock's WWF debut in Corpus Christi, Texas, at a Superstars taping. I was in the house.
Nice.
Me, my little brother Tad, and our best friends RC and Dustin. We had fifth row seats. And the dark match at this Superstars taping was, I want to say it was Flex Kavana versus Jerry Lawler. But the Rock, he wasn't Rocky Maivia. He was still Flex Kavana.
Wow.
And he came out. And I think I was just kind of half-assed paying attention to it. And then it was about 8 months later when they started showing the little videos, hyping him up for his debut at Survivor Series. I was like, hey, I think I remember this guy. And then early days of the internet, I got on Pro Wrestling Illustrated's website because PWI used to publish all the house show results in addition to the TV stuff. And sure enough, he was Flex Kavana there at Corpus Christi, Texas. That was his debut. So that's that's my little bit of trivia for the night. So Marco, tell us about Friends from College.
All right, so the show, it's on Netflix. It's only 2 seasons. The writer was not able to do a 3rd season. I didn't get to dive deep into why not, but they kind of wrap it up in the 2nd season.
Yeah, that sounds kind of ominous, man. You said he was unable to. Like somebody broke his fingers and he couldn't write another season, or what?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe maybe they didn't
How
give
many
it a budget.
seasons was it?
2.
Oh well, it's notorious. Like after the second season, isn't that when they do like a
3 seasons is usually when Netflix cancels their shows.
Oh, okay. Because after 3 seasons, they
The
have to
royalties
give people
get to be too high.
Yeah, they have to pay the people like too much money, and they're like, "Is this really worth it?" And then they give people the axe.
They probably did. But I was telling my wife because she was like super upset that they only did 2 seasons of it. I was like, if you watch any like British television, a lot of their shows are like that. Either like 1 or 2 seasons, and that's it. They never come back.
Yeah, it's like the original Office. I think was only like 16 episodes.
Yeah, so like I was like, I'm kind of, for me, watching like a lot of like British television on Netflix and stuff like that and other means. I'm kind of used to like the 2 season, and I kind of like it. Like if you could wrap it. Sometimes if a series goes longer than 2 seasons or 3 seasons, it gets kind of crazy. So I kind of like the fact that it's only 2. I'm a fan of the limited run series. I agree with you on that one for sure. Yeah, it's about 8 episodes a season 2. So basically, let me read the synopsis so I don't give a lot of it away. So it's actually it's kind of like it's drama, it's comedy, it's a lot of there's a lot of comedians, and actually Fred Savage is in it too, which is
nice.
to see Fred
I
Savage.
love Fred Savage.
Kevin Arnold.
My wife does too. She's like, oh my god, I love him so much.
He's the cutest thing.
Yeah, we're actually watching Wonder Years right now. That's one of our shows we're watching right now. So yeah. So basically, it's about a group of friends that are they're from Harvard, and they're going into their 40s. They later on, obviously, they're in their 40s now. They reconnect after 20 years of being apart from each other, and obviously, there's a lot of different. Some of them dated each other back then, and like there's some of them are married now to each other and all this stuff. So it's a lot of like complicated things like that. But also the star of it, who I love, is from Key and Peele. If you ever watched that show, so Keegan Michael Key, he's pretty much a star of the show. He's awesome. I think he's like one of the funniest dudes like in comedy. But yeah, he just makes the show like he has a great dramatic presence as well. Like he can do some drama. I'm surprised he hasn't. I'm not sure if he's done any type of like drama movies, but usually a lot of comedians can't do that. They can like turn off the funny and do like really serious roles. Robert Williams is like a key in that. He would do a lot of Adam Sandler too.
Movies and stuff like that. Adam Sandler's great at that too. But yeah, no, it's a really good show. It's like I said, it has laughs, it has tears. I didn't cry at anything, but it makes you sad, it makes you happy at some points and all stuff. But no, it's an awesome show. Definitely recommend it. Like I said, it's a sure watch. It's a half hour too. Each episode, they're not an hour long.
Easy watch.
So it's an easy watch. 2 seasons.
He said
some
on
laughs,
Netflix.
like I said. Yeah, Netflix, some laughs, some tears. I think it might be like one of the top things. It's one of those shows that was on TV and then it like ended up on Netflix, and now it's like the number 1 or number 2 show on Netflix because of people want to see it because why did it go off the air? But no, it's a really good show. Definitely recommend it.
Cool. So Young Rock and friends from college. All right, it is time for Random Merch of the Week. This is where we scour the dark corners of the internet and eBay to find you new items that we have not seen before, that some are cheap, some are expensive. Last week, Marco brought us the ring gear from Marvelous Mark Marrow. That was pretty wild. Yeah. We got a much more economical choice this week. But first, I want to remind you that this segment is brought to you by Pro Wrestling Tees. We just launched our Chick Foley Show Mania shirt this week. It looks awesome. Order it now. You'll have it in time to wear to your WrestleMania parties because you're going to need something for both nights this year. So you better be repping Chick Foley Show
at least one
of them. So the item that I stumbled upon this week, I can't remember what I was looking for. It came up randomly in a search when I was browsing for something else, and I was like, okay, we got to use this. So it's from 1990. It's by a company called Superstar Collectibles, and it is a Hulk Hogan cooler cup. All right, so we'll throw a link to this in the show notes so you guys can check it out. It's still sitting on eBay right now for $39.99 for the opening bid. This thing's, I suppose you could call it MOC. The box has definitely seen better days, but it is still in box. So it's 3 products in one. All right, so because it includes a removable freezer gel cup. So it's like a koozie, And then it's the 3 products that it's advertising. So it's a koozie that's got like a gel cup in there. If you guys remember those from the 90s, those gel mugs you could get that you could freeze.
them.
So it's one of those, so you can use like a koozie. Then it's got like a lid and a straw, so you use it for like a standard, like, straw sippy cup. And then also you just take the lid off and use it to hold your ink pen. So that's one of the
one of the functions is a pen holder.
Yeah, they call it a pencil grid. So on the box it says 3 products in one. Comes with removable freezer gel cup, pencil grid, plastic seat, which that confused me for the longest. So what they're talking about, plastic seat, is basically like the plastic thing to put it in if you're going to use it for like a pencil holder or whatever.
Like the base.
I was racking my brain saying like, how the hell does this thing turn into a seat? How would you? It includes a squeeze bottle, the carrying strap, and a certificate of authenticity. Because if it's one thing that chaps my ass, it's when somebody tells me that my Superstar Collectibles Hulk Hogan cup is fake.
Yeah.
So check this thing out. It's pretty cool. It's actually got soft goods. So it's basically a Hulk Hogan cup. It's got the standard yellow Hulk rules, but then it's also got these.
He's got little ventriloquist legs.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got the little soft goods legs within plastic shoes. So.
Is there another one? Is there a different brand?
I think this was a licensed thing. I think they had multiple celebrities because the back of the box just has a generic one and shows all the different uses for the.
How would you just want this random white guy on your koozie cup?
Well, I think that's just the generic one to show you. I'm assuming these guys had all kinds of
celebrity licenses.
Yeah, I'm sure that there may be a Michael Jordan one out there. There's no telling. It looks like this was definitely a thing in the early '90s. But yeah, like I said, it looks like it'd probably be a pretty badass koozie with the gel cup. But I don't know if that gel would still activate and work 31 years later.
Or how toxic it is 30 years later. I mean, it's like it'll turn your drink into some sort of nuclear bomb.
Here's something interesting on the back of this box. I don't know who the copywriter was for these. So for the squeeze bottle, that section of it says it includes a squeeze bottle for juice, milk, soup, tea, which what fucking psychopath is out there drinking soup out of a squeeze bottle? That's what I want to know.
Well, they used to have those, it kind of looks like those thermoses. Remember those thermoses with the little cup at the top? But
this is a straw. This is a squeeze bottle with a straw. Yeah. It says soup. So if you want to drink your chicken noodle soup, this is a product for you. But here's the thing. So it says squeeze bottle for juice, milk, soup, tea, almost anything. So if it's good for soup, I want to know what the almost anything that it's not qualified for, But anyways, check this thing out. It's definitely a unique item. That'll be in our show notes. You still got 2 days left, and it's still there aren't many bids yet.
Send him an offer.
Yeah, send this guy an offer.
Somebody from the Foley family.
Check it out. It's pretty freaking wild.
You need this as a pencil cup.
And again, it does come with a legit certificate of authenticity from Puppet Cooler Industries. So pretty wild. Yeah, I'm definitely do some research and see who else there was available in the Superstar Collectibles line.
That's funny.
All right, Retro Wrestling Recommendation of the Week. This segment is brought to you by Chalkline.
So with that being said, it is time for our Chalkline check-in of the weeks where we ask the heel husband which of his 60 pair of Chalkline shorts he is rocking for this week's episode. So heel husband, what are you wearing?
So I'm going to channel my inner Michael Cole and say that it is boss time. I'm rocking the Sasha Banks shorts. These things look awesome. My favorite color combo for sneakers and clothes is black and royal blue, and that's what these are. They look great. They are the only female that's represented in the Chalkline shorts line so
really?
far.
I didn't realize that they were the only
they just dropped some Street Fighter Chun-Li shorts this week also. A lot of good Street Fighter merch. So if you're a big fan of Capcom or anything Street Fighter, hit them up because they got some jackets and some really cool shorts dropping this week there on Chalkline, and there's always some amazing stuff coming out every single week. So stay tuned to Chalkline's Instagram. We love those guys.
It's super timely because she just did her interview on the Broken Skull Sessions, which was really good. If you haven't gotten a chance to listen to that yet, it was actually really, really good.
You still can't convince me that she liked that Broken Skull IPA, though. No, that seemed very forced.
It was very forced. Marco, when she took a drink of that beer, she goes, here, I don't know.
She was like, I've been waiting for this. And then she said, this is what I wanted. And then he cracked it open for her, and it was foaming at the top, and she went,
that is good. And I was like, I've never seen somebody so weakly drink a beer in my life, especially in front of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
IPA is not, you don't even drink IPA is not something that you take a sip and it's it's I don't know. Yeah, it's like an acquired.
Yeah,
IPA.
that's what I do. Yeah.
No, I do that.
IPA is like an acquired taste, you know. You got to drink it and just be like, yeah, that's good stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a slow. It's never nothing that like knocks you off your feet, you know. It's
She didn't take another single
Well-
drink of it the entire episode. Like she
Well,
did
yeah,
not.
I mean, it's
She did
strong.
not
That's
drink
the other
a
thing, too.
Yeah, she
It's
did not
strong.
drink anything. But other than that, other than her poor beer drinking ability,
it was cool.
The interview was awesome. I loved how confident she was.
She's
you know,
great.
I just thought her whole demeanor was really badass and definitely played into her boss persona. So I was here for it. If you haven't gotten to watch it yet, it's definitely worth your time.
You know, not to totally hijack our segment here, but while we're on the Sasha Banks topic, it really is like one of those sliding doors moments. You guys remember back in like 2019 when she was gone for like months and it was rumored she wanted to leave the company.
Yeah.
Thank God that she stayed, because obviously 2020, her and Bailey along with Drew McIntyre really carried the company.
Gosh,
and Sasha has been like the highest levels of over and just as awesome as could be since she returned. Think if she would have left and went to AEW. You know, we all know, as much as we love AEW over here, we know how awful their women's division has been, and I can only imagine that she would have got lost in the shuffle over there since then. So thank God that she ended up, you know, Vince McMahon ended up talking her into staying, and it's definitely worked out for the best because she has been on a hell of a run since she came back.
100%.
All right, Marco, what is your retro pick for this week?
Oh man, this is like if you did not know, I mean, some people may know this if you're like indie fans and stuff like that, but a lot of people probably didn't know this.
Yeah, I've never watched it though.
A lot of people did not know this match existed. So when you talk about, you know, the best wrestlers in the world all in one ring, you're thinking like, no, that would never happen. Like, no way. But in 2008, this did happen. So I want to say the main. I'll start off with the main event of this card. So it's from ROH. It's ROH Bound by Hate. The year is 2008. So the main event of this pay per view was Kevin Steen or Kevin Owens and El Generico. You know who that is. Against the Briscoe brothers.
Oh wow!
To retain the ROH World Tag Team Championship. That was the main event.
Yeah, that sounds pretty badass.
That does sound badass.
So the match I picked, it wasn't that match, but definitely go back and watch this. The match I picked was a triple threat dream match, if you will. This will probably never happen again that I can think of. I mean, never say never in the world of wrestling, but I don't think it will. So Daniel Bryan, for those that don't know.
The American Dragon.
Yep, American Dragon versus Kenny Omega versus Tyler Black, a.k.a. Seth Rollins. So all three of these talents in 2008 were in a ring together.
That's insane.
And if you think, because it was 2008, they weren't good, you'd be sadly mistaken, because this match is amazing. Definitely go watch it.
Daniel Bryan was really at his peak in this time.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's vintage, all their styles, like who they are, and obviously they're more advanced now and all that stuff. They have their own personas, but like you could watching this match, you could see them their individual selves. Like Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins or Tyler Black. Like it's his moveset. Like it's him being him. He's not trying to be anyone else. Kenny Omega, the Kenny Omega you know and love, same Kenny Omega that you see now, just a little bit obviously younger.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, like you mentioned, Seth, at the peak, American Dragon, Daniel Bryan, you're seeing all these guys, but at a younger age, so they're a lot faster. They're doing a lot of different crazy things. Yeah. The spoiler alert: Daniel Bryan did win. He did defeat Kenny Omega and Seth Rollins in this match. But yeah, this was like a mind blowing. I was like, it's like 15 minutes, I think, 16 minute match. So short watch.
Is it on YouTube, or did you find it on Daily Motion, or where'd you find it at?
I think it's either on Daily Motion or YouTube. Just search.
Okay.
Just search.
Yeah, we'll check it out this weekend for sure.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's an awesome match. Just seeing all three of those guys in the ring together was like, holy crap! This actually existed.
Yeah.
Probably the three top wrestlers in the world. If you want to just take them three and put them in a match together.
I'd say it's those three and Dolph Ziggler, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys know how fond I am of Dolph.
Oh man.
But no, yeah, definitely, those three are definitely in any conversation for the best wrestler in the world. You know, you got
Yeah, you
AJ
can put up an
Styles
argument for any of those
and Will
guys.
Ospreay probably mix in there, but yeah,
Ray
hell of a
Phoenix, you
match.
can throw
Like I
in
said,
there.
Will
too.
Ospreay.
yeah, I've seen some of the I've seen some of the segments from that match, but I've never sat down and watched the whole thing. So I think he inspired me. I'm definitely going to check it out
So good.
this weekend. Me with the news of Big Show, finally had a party in WWE. I figured I'd pick a Big Show match, and my favorite one was Extreme Rules 2015. This is when Roman Reigns was coming off of his huge loss at WrestleMania when he failed to capture the World Championship from Brock Lesnar when Seth Rollins cashed in, and he bounced back the next week. The next month he was feuding with Big Show, and they put on a hell of a match at Extreme Rules. Anybody that says, a lot of people that have over the last 5 or 6 years, I think Big Show is just some boring wrestler. Dude could still work if he had the right opponent and it was the right setup, and they had a hell of a match. Roman put him through some tables. Really exciting stuff. So check out Roman Reigns versus the Big Show from Extreme Rules 2015. And with that, it's time for Sheena to hit us with some listener mail.
All right, we asked in our Foley fam, and you guys delivered with some awesome questions. So our first question comes in from our friend Shane Tanasir. He says, if you could go back in time to any wrestling event, what would it be and why? Seth, I'll start with you.
I would go back to Survivor Series 1997, and I would just yell at Brett, go back, don't trust it, it's a trap.
Yeah.
So I'd say Survivor Series 97 would be mine, just to save Brett everything that happened with the screw job.
What about you, Marco?
That's too funny. So for a jokey one, I'd probably go back to stop Hulk Hogan from entering that Yokozuna and Bret Hart match. I'd probably stop that from happening.
That's a good answer. I like that. I like that a lot.
But my real one, just to see, like, the actual be in attendance would be obviously WrestleMania 6. Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Just to see that that match in person would be pretty amazing, pretty epic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, awesome question, Shane. Thank you so much. All right, this one comes in from our good friend Mike Lanham. He says, brownies are corner pieces, which are 2 edges, middle sides, which are 1 edge, or middle pieces, which are no edges.
So I've actually changed my tune on brownies over the years. When I was a kid, I definitely like the edge pieces. I like the contrast in texture. You get a little bit crispier, just a different mouthfeel on the edge pieces. But now, if I'm eating a brownie, I want it to be like the most tender bite possible. So I'm going no edges. I'm going for the middle.
That was not what I expected from you. I thought you were like, all edges.
No, my brownie. So I'm really not much of a brownie fan.
True. That's true.
I am gonna eat a brownie, I like a super small piece. Like I just need a square. I don't even need a brownie. I need like 1 bite, and I want it to be so fatty, like so buttery that it just straight up like melts on my tongue. So that's my.
See, I love. I'll go next. I love edge pieces. I like corner pieces. I guess I should say 2 edges. So I want it to be like a nice, like moist. Sorry for anybody who doesn't like that word. A nice moist middle piece. Like just super dense, and like Seth said, just super melty and gooey. And then I want like that crispy outer edge as a contrast. So I am here for the corner pieces. They actually have brownie trays now that you can make, and like it slides into your regular baking tray, and it's all edges. So it's
like a grid.
It's like a grid. So
Okay.
every brownie has like 4 edge pieces. Yeah. So
you're basically making a bunch of individual brownies.
You're making brownie bites. Yeah, you're making a bunch of brownie bites that have
cool.
four edge pieces. So if you're into the crispiness of the brownies, also they make those little brownie crisps. Have you ever had those, Marco?
Those are tasty.
They come in a little bag.
Yeah.
They're probably brown. They're called brownie bites.
They have
they're
the
like
Cookie Crisps also. They're made by the same company.
Yeah,
super thin.
It's super
cookies.
thin little crispy pieces of brownie. They're really, really good. What about you, Marco? What do you go for?
Oh man, see, I used to be a no edges person, but I think it really depends on who like makes the brownies or who bakes the brownies. I would say so. Like if they know how to bake it the way where it's like it's not like the edges aren't burnt, because once the edges are burnt, it's like it defeats the purpose of having an edge. So my older sister used to I'm not sure how she did it, but she would just take like the regular like box of brownies that you would buy.
Dude,
like
box.
it just
I don't care what anybody says. Box brownies. That's as good as you get. Like people
Oh,
try
yeah.
to make all this fancy and try to make like homemade brownies from scratch. I don't care who you are. If you like box brownies, taste amazing.
especially if you could do like I'm not sure how she did. I never watched her actually bake the brownies.
Yeah.
But, like the way she would do it was like she made it from scratch. It was like homemade. I'm not sure what ingredients she put into the box,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
she would make it perfect where you would you could eat either the edge ones or the
Yeah.
middle ones. It didn't even matter. So I grew to love like the whole like pan of brownies if I had to. Like I could eat the whole thing. But yeah, if I had to choose, I would be the one edge. So I'd be like the soft and then the edge, not two edges.
Yeah, I
Kinda
used
like
to
a
make
pizza,
these.
like
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
to make these things called brookies. It's like a brownie
brookies are
cookie
good.
mixture, and I used to make
Ooh,
them
yeah,
for like
those
when
are good.
we would have like holiday parties and stuff. I would always make the brookies, and dude, they were so freaking good. Like it's like a cookie and a brownie had a baby. Like you put a layer of cookies in the bottom, and then you pour the brownie batter over them, and then you cut them into bars.
Yeah.
And put like chocolate chips and marshmallows or whatever the heck you want in there, and it's freaking delicious. So yeah, I'm here for brownies. Thank you for the question, Mike Lanham. Now I'm gonna go scour my cabinets after we close here and look for something sweet. So Rob Regino hits us with, let's go with favorite animated film. Toy Story 3 is pretty badass, but my underdog movie is Megamind. I make my daughter watch it even when they don't want to. This is tough because I love a lot of animated movies, especially now having kids. I've watched a lot of animated movies that I probably wouldn't have watched otherwise, a lot of the newer stuff. But yeah, even Seth and I, like, we used to go to the movies. Like we would go see the Toy Story series, like in the movies or anytime
Yeah, we
Pixar.
saw Wally.
Yeah, anytime Pixar would put
Cars.
anything out, Wall-E, Cars.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go. It's funny that you mentioned Wall-E because on a personal level as an adult, I feel like Wall-E is probably my favorite animated movie just because one, it's beautifully shot. Like there's not a ton of dialogue. It's the sounds are really pleasant. I just love the movie. I love the message behind the movie. It kind of encourages people to look at their consumerism and just the environment and the planet and all those types of things. And in that same vein, I also love the Lorax. So like the original Dr. Seuss Lorax cartoon, not the remake. I mean, I like the remake too, but like the original is where my heart is. That little Lorax cartoon. So I think those are probably my two favorite. But yeah, there's so many. What about you, Seth?
So I'm gonna pull a Sheena and list off like three at once.
Yeah, I could have
That's what she always does. She says, "What's I'll start off. So I really like Lilo and Stitch just because our son Brett loves it a lot, and it really does capture the feel of Hawaii. And as you guys know, we lived in Hawaii for 7 years, and Hawaii will always have a very special place in my heart. For a recent one that I really, really liked is Soul. It came out on Christmas Day on Disney Plus, starring Jamie Foxx. That one kind of stuck with me. It was really, I would say it was, it was a cartoon, but it was really almost geared towards adults. It was had a lot of adult themes, just about, doing the most with your life.
A lot about that, yeah.
And kind of live for your moment. But if I had to say the best, it's not an all-time classic because it's only about 5 years old, but I really love Coco. Coco was really beautifully animated, awesome story. And yeah, so I think
and
Coco.
It's beautiful to watch too.
Oh, yeah.
All of the animation in that, when they go to the land of the dead, like it's just incredible.
Yeah, and I'm such a huge, it's an awesome movie, and then I'm a huge music fan. Music's always been a huge part of my life, and I don't know, Coco really resonated with me. So again, that's another one that our son Brett absolutely loves. I've probably seen that movie, close to 100 times at this point.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get old. I still watch it and stuff, and I still like it and everything. So yeah, I would think I'd go Coco, my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
What about you, Marco?
Oh man, I'm probably gonna piggyback off of both of you guys and add multiple movies. Definitely Soul. I actually did watch that. Me and my wife watched that. He said it's more adult oriented. It's a kids movie wrapped in an adult overtone. I would say, not even an undertone. Basically about like living your life, taking in the moments now. Don't worry about what's gonna happen in the future. Don't try to calculate everything out. Just let it go, let it be. So you don't get all wrapped up in that stuff. But yeah, that movie was really like you said, it touched you in like like the feel spots everywhere. You just like you start like reminiscing about like your life, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, so like it's like for those that haven't watched it, like you need to go watch it, man. Like it's hard to even talk about that movie without getting a little bit emotional, man. Like it's heavy.
Yeah, no, it is.
That's got a frog in his throat there for a second.
Yeah, Soul is heavy, man. Like you need to go watch it, dude. Yeah, it will make you reflect for sure.
Definitely. So Shrek was another the Shrek series. Actually, I love Shrek.
I do have a soft spot for Shrek. I quoted Shrek a lot after it came out. It was just a funny movie. And I love Mike Myers too. Like I'm a huge Mike Myers fan.
Eddie Murphy. The "Get away from me, donkey" that stuff.
That was pretty good.
I didn't go full into the Shrek thing, but my all-time favorite movie is Aladdin. For some reason, that movie sticks out the most out of anything, mainly because I think I was like a huge Robin Williams fan back in the day when I was younger, because he did all those like he's just so animated, and obviously before Jim Carrey. So I was like a huge fan, and when I found out he was doing like an animated movie or doing the voice of something, obviously I was a huge fan of that. But I do for visuals. Another movie is actually there's a couple more. Moana, love Moana.
Oh,
that movie's
Moana
visually
too.
like insane. Like,
and it reminds me of the island too. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, like the water on that movie is like I don't even care about like the characters. Like just looking at the water looks so real. Like you want to dive in and swim in it. Right now Trolls, because my kids are like really into both Trolls.
Our kid loves
Trolls. Like singing every single movie.
Princess Poppy,
Branch.
Yeah, Princess Poppy. Yeah, Branch and Bridget singing "Hello" is probably like my favorite part of the movie.
So Rob, thank you. Yeah, we may have to do a bracket. Seth loves a bracket. We may have to do like best animated films, because there are so many. I mean, we would have to break it down and just do like best animated Disney films, best animated short stories and cartoons and stuff, because there's so many, and they hit for so many different reasons. Nostalgia, and then like you said with Soul, like as an adult watching it, like it makes you reflect. So thank you, Rob, for that question.
So let's end on a fun one, Sheen. That one's ended up being a little heavy, man.
Talking about the failing environment and reflecting on our lives, and
Great question, though.
All right, this one comes in from Johnny JB. He says, if you could have a figure made of yourselves, which style would it be? LJN, Hasbro's, Bendham, Mattel Jazzware.
Boy.
So I love the Hasbro's. All right, Hasbro's were a ton of fun, but when I think of like playing with wrestling figures and stuff, I go back to the BCAs, man. That was when I had my most in-depth, most incredible like fig fed as a kid. It was with Jack's Bone Crunchers. So I think I would make a heel husband bone crunching action figure. How about you, Marco?
Oh man, that's rough. That's a tough one to choose from. I definitely like Hasbro. I'm probably gonna go LJN. I want to last forever, so I'm gonna go with the LJN line.
You don't ever have anything breaking. Worst thing you're gonna get is some scuff marks and some paint wears. LJN.
Me and you have me. I'm sitting on your mantle or whatever. But
for years.
I'm not sure what pose I would do, but I'd probably have something where like I could do. You could have some like different move sets would be some like body slams, some clotheslines.
The JYD is versatile. The second Hulk pose with the one fist back and the other arm sticking out. That's a good one. Like the Greg Valentine pose. Yeah,
one of those I'd probably do. Yeah, so LJN.
How about you, Sheen?
Well, I was gonna say LJN because I would be the first woman, but then we have Miss Elizabeth. I know. I totally forgot about Miss Elizabeth. But so she would be the first manager. I would be the first ever wrestling podcasting woman wrestling figure. So
I mean, they couldn't have even fathomed what a podcast would even be during the LJN days.
That's so true. But I would be in I would have my LJN gear. I would have my signature, Chick Foley Show buffalo plaid vest and my Mick Foley shirt and black leggings with leopard print boots and Hitman shades. That'd be my LJN figure. All
right, so when we hit 1 million downloads a week on this show, we'll make it happen. We'll get some Marco and Sheena LJNs and a Seth bone crunching action figure for you guys. Nice. So just get us to 1 million and we'll make it happen. Sheena, remind the folks where they can find you guys on social media.
You guys can always find me on Instagram at Chick Foley. You can find Marco over there running the Twitter machine at Chick Foley Show. And then most importantly, you can become a part of our Foley fam by checking out chickfoleyshow.com. chickfoley.com. And with that, I think we're out.
Yeah. Remember, use code Chick Foley, anything you order at Ringside Collectibles. And we'll finish the show as we do every week. Marco, do you got any closing thoughts for the listeners?
Not this week, no. I don't have any.
Oh,
I
man,
usually
nothing.
have some type of quote. I was just going to do the same one over and over again, but I think that's kind of lame. But next week I'll have
all of
something.
his he used all of his emotion during that animated series.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that took a lot out of me just thinking
All of
about.
his deep thoughts went into that.
This
I
is
just reflected on my life. I'm talking about that movie.
it feels like the first time in a while that we don't got a pay-per-view or a takeover or something on the weekend. So
Feels good.
yeah, take a weekend off,
Yeah.
dig deep, spend some time with your families and find some stuff on the network to watch this week and enjoy. Because starting next week we got Revolution. I think we got Fastlane right after
And we're
that.
on the
So
road to WrestleMania.
yeah,
Party,
this is one of the few weekends off we got from watching wrestling. So enjoy, find something you like to do. Everybody stay safe, and we will talk to you guys next week.